the old mansion stood atop the hill, shrouded in darkness. Stories whispered of its haunted past, of strange occurrences that drove its occupants to madness or worse. Tom, a curious journalist seeking a story, ventured into the mansion one moonless night. As he crept through the dusty halls, a chill ran down his spine, and he felt the weight of unseen eyes upon him. Suddenly, a door creaked open, revealing a staircase leading down into the basement. With trembling hands, Tom descended into the darkness. In the basement, he discovered a room filled with antique dolls, their glassy eyes staring blankly ahead. Ignoring the warning signs, Tom approached a particularly sinister-looking doll seated on a small chair. As he reached out to touch it, a voice echoed through the silence, chilling him to the bone. "Leave this place," it whispered, its tone dripping with malice. Terrified, Tom turned to flee, but the door slammed shut, trapping him in the darkness. The doll's eyes glowed with an otherworldly light as they closed in around him, their haunting laughter echoing through the mansion. And then, in the pitch-black darkness, Tom screamed as the doll's icy fingers closed around his throat, dragging him into the depths of the mansion, never to be seen again. Legend has it that on stormy nights, the sound of Tom's scream still echoes through the halls of the old mansion, serving as a warning to all who dare to enter its cursed walls. Years passed, and the old mansion remained abandoned, its secrets hidden in the shadows. But tales of its malevolent presence spread far and wide, becoming the stuff of local legend. One stormy night, a group of adventurous teenagers dared each other to spend the night in the mansion, eager to uncover its mysteries. Ignoring the warnings of the townsfolk, they entered the decrepit building, armed with flashlights and bravado. As they explored the darkened halls, a sense of unease settled over them. Strange whispers seemed to emanate from the walls, and the air grew thick with an oppressive weight. Suddenly, they stumbled upon the basement, where the antique dolls lay in wait. Ignoring their instincts, they ventured further into the room, drawn by an unseen force. But as they approached the dolls, a chilling voice echoed through the darkness, freezing them in their tracks. "Leave this place," it hissed, its words dripping with venom. Panicked, the teenagers turned to flee, but the door slammed shut behind them, trapping them in the basement. Desperate screams filled the air as the dolls sprang to life, their glassy eyes glowing with malevolent intent. One by one, the teenagers were dragged into the darkness, their terrified cries echoing through the mansion as they vanished without a trace. And as the storm raged outside, the old mansion stood silent once more, its cursed legacy claiming yet another group of unfortunate souls who dared to defy its ancient power. As the storm outside intensified, the old mansion seemed to awaken with a sinister energy. The once forgotten spirits of its tormented past roamed the halls, hungry for vengeance against any who dared disturb their eternal slumber. In the days that followed, whispers of the teenagers' disappearance spread throughout the town, sending a chill through the hearts of all who heard them. Some dismissed the tales as mere superstition, but others knew better, recognizing the familiar dread that hung heavy in the air. Rumors swirled of dark rituals performed within the mansion's walls, of souls trapped for eternity within its haunted confines. The townsfolk whispered of the cursed dollmaker who had once inhabited the mansion, weaving his dark magic into each doll he created. But despite the warnings, there were always those foolish enough to seek out the truth for themselves. And so, the old mansion remained a magnet for the curious and the brave, drawing them in with its promises of mystery and horror. But those who entered its cursed halls would soon discover that some secrets were never meant to be uncovered, and that the price of curiosity was far greater than they could ever imagine. And so, the old mansion stood atop the hill, a silent sentinel of darkness, waiting patiently for its next victims to arrive and become lost in its endless maze of nightmares. But perhaps, deep down, it held a secret hope that one day, someone would come along who possessed the courage to break the curse and free the tormented souls trapped within its walls. Until then, it would remain a beacon of terror in the night, warning all who dared to tread its haunted halls.
Would you like to play a game? Uh-oh, this party got wild. Everybody at the Mocker House, show me a phone or you'll end up in a body bag.
old mansion, known to the locals as Blackwood Manor, loomed atop the hill like a shadowy sentinel guarding its secrets. For decades, whispered tales of its haunted history had plagued the small town nestled at its base. Some claimed the mansion was cursed, while others spoke of restless spirits trapped within its decaying walls. Few dared to venture near Blackwood Manor, but among the bravest was a young woman named Emily. Drawn to the mansion by an insatiable curiosity, she had spent years researching its dark past, determined to uncover the truth behind the legends. One moonlit night, armed with little more than a flashlight and her courage, Emily set out to explore the abandoned mansion. As she approached the imposing wrought iron gates, a shiver ran down her spine, but she pushed aside her fear and pressed on. Inside the mansion, Emily found herself enveloped in darkness, the air heavy with the scent of decay. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling like macabre tapestries, and the floorboards creaked beneath her feet as she crept through the halls. Her heart pounding, Emily descended into the basement, where she discovered a room filled with antique dolls, their lifeless eyes staring out into the void. Ignoring the chill that ran down her spine, she approached a particularly sinister-looking doll seated on a dusty shelf. As she reached out to touch it, a voice echoed through the darkness, freezing her in place. "Leave this place," it whispered, its words laced with a cold menace. Emily's breath caught in her throat as she spun around, her flashlight illuminating the figure of a woman standing in the shadows. The woman's eyes gleamed with an otherworldly light, and Emily felt a wave of dread wash over her. But before she could flee, the woman spoke again, her voice filled with anguish. "You must leave before it's too late," she implored, her spectral form flickering in and out of existence. With a trembling hand, Emily reached into her bag and pulled out a worn journal she had discovered in her research. Flipping through its pages, she found mention of a tragic tale from decades past, a tale of love and loss, of betrayal and revenge. As she read, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. The woman before her was none other than Isabel Blackwood, the daughter of the mansion's former owner, who had been betrayed by her own family and left to suffer a fate worse than death. Filled with determination, Emily vowed to help Isabel find peace, no matter the cost. Together, they delved deeper into the mansion's secrets, uncovering long-forgotten truths hidden within its walls. But as they ventured further into the darkness, they awakened something ancient and malevolent, a force beyond their comprehension, hungry for vengeance against all who dared to trespass in its domain. And as the night wore on, Emily and Isabel found themselves locked in a desperate struggle for survival, their every step haunted by the echoes of despair that filled the mansion's halls. In the end, only one would emerge from the darkness, their fate forever entwined with the tragic legacy of Blackwood Manor. And though the mansion stood silent once more, its secrets buried beneath layers of dust and decay, the echoes of its past would linger on, a reminder of the darkness that lurked within us all. As the night wore on, Emily and Isabel delved deeper into the mysteries of Blackwood Manor, determined to uncover the truth behind its cursed legacy. With each passing hour, the mansion seemed to come alive with unseen forces, its dark corridors twisting and shifting like a labyrinth of nightmares. They stumbled upon hidden passages and forgotten chambers, each more sinister than the last. In one room, they found a collection of arcane artifacts, their twisted forms pulsating with an unholy energy. In another, they discovered a crypt filled with the remains of those who had dared to defy the mansion's ancient power. But it was in the heart of the mansion, hidden away from prying eyes, that they found the source of its malevolent presence, a gateway to the realm of the dead, where restless spirits lingered in eternal torment. As they gazed into the abyss, Emily felt a chill run down her spine, and Isabel's spectral form trembled with fear. But they knew that if they were to free the trapped souls of Blackwood Manor, they would have to confront the darkness head-on. Armed with nothing but their wits and determination, Emily and Isabel stepped through the gateway, their hearts heavy with dread. What they found on the other side was beyond anything they could have imagined, a realm of darkness and despair, where the screams of the damned echoed through the void. But amid the chaos, they discovered a glimmer of hope, a flicker of light shining in the darkness. With Isabel's guidance, Emily reached out to the trapped souls, offering them solace and redemption in their final moments. As the spirits found peace, the darkness that had consumed Blackwood Manor began to fade, replaced by a sense of calm and serenity. And though the mansion would forever bear the scars of its haunted past, Emily knew that its legacy would live on, a testament to the power of courage and compassion in the face of unimaginable evil. And as she stood before the crumbling ruins of Blackwood Manor, Emily felt a sense of closure wash over her, knowing that she had helped to set free the souls that had been trapped within its walls for so long. But even as she turned to leave, she couldn't shake the feeling that the darkness that had once consumed Blackwood Manor still lingered in the shadows, waiting for its next unsuspecting victim to come along and become lost in its endless maze of horrors. And so, as she walked away from the mansion for the final time, Emily vowed to never forget the lessons she had learned within its walls, to always cherish the light, even in the darkest of times, and to never underestimate the power of hope in the face of despair. For in the end, it was hope that had saved her from the darkness, and it was hope that would continue to guide her on her journey through life, no matter what terrors lay ahead. As Emily walked away from Blackwood Manor, the weight of its haunted history still clung to her like a heavy shroud. She couldn't shake the feeling that something had followed her out of the mansion's depths, something dark and malevolent that lingered just beyond the edge of her perception. Despite her best efforts to move on, Emily found herself haunted by nightmares of the mansion's twisted corridors and the tormented spirits that had once roamed its halls. Sleep became elusive, her mind consumed by visions of darkness and despair. Determined to find peace, Emily returned to the town at the base of the hill, seeking solace in the familiar surroundings of home. But try as she might, she couldn't escape the memories of Blackwood Manor, its cursed legacy reaching out to ensnare her once more. Desperate for answers, Emily turned to the townsfolk for help, hoping that someone could shed light on the mysteries that had plagued her for so long. But the people of the town remained tight-lipped, their faces etched with fear at the mere mention of the mansion's name. Frustrated and alone, Emily resolved to confront the darkness that had consumed her, no matter the cost. Armed with newfound determination, she returned to Blackwood Manor, prepared to face whatever horrors lay in wait. As she stepped through the crumbling gates, Emily felt a sense of dread wash over her, but she pushed aside her fear and pressed on. With each step, the mansion seemed to come alive, its twisted corridors twisting and shifting like a living nightmare. But Emily refused to be deterred, her resolve as strong as ever. With Isabel's spirit by her side, she delved deeper into the heart of the mansion, determined to uncover the truth behind its cursed legacy once and for all. As she explored the hidden passages and forgotten chambers, Emily discovered clues that hinted at a darker truth, a truth that had been buried beneath layers of deceit and betrayal for generations. With each revelation, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, and Emily realized that the true source of Blackwood Manor's power lay not in the realm of the supernatural, but in the hearts of those who had once called it home. And as she uncovered the secrets of the past, Emily knew that she held the key to breaking the curse that had plagued Blackwood Manor for so long. With Isabel's guidance, she set out to right the wrongs of the past, offering solace to the tormented spirits that had once roamed its halls. In the end, it was not through acts of heroism or bravery that Emily triumphed over the darkness, but through acts of compassion and forgiveness. And as she stood before the crumbling ruins of Blackwood Manor, she felt a sense of peace wash over her, knowing that she had finally laid the spirits of the past to rest. But even as she walked away from the mansion for the final time, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that the darkness that had once consumed Blackwood Manor still lingered in the shadows, waiting for its next unsuspecting victim to come along and become lost in its endless maze of horrors. And so, as she walked away from the mansion for the final time, Emily vowed to never forget the lessons she had learned within its walls, to always cherish the light, even in the darkest of times, and to never underestimate the power of hope in the face of despair. For in the end, it was hope that had saved her from the darkness, and it was hope that would continue to guide her on her journey through life, no matter what terrors lay ahead. In the heart of the countryside, perched atop a desolate hill, stood Blackwood Manor, a towering edifice that cast a long shadow over the surrounding landscape. For centuries, the mansion had been a source of fear and fascination for the nearby village, its dark history shrouded in mystery and tragedy. Legend had it that Blackwood Manor was cursed, its halls haunted by the restless spirits of those who had met untimely ends within its walls. Tales of strange disappearances and unexplained phenomena had earned the mansion a reputation as a place of dread, and few dared to venture near its decaying facade. But among the villagers, there was one who was undeterred by the whispers of the supernatural, a young historian named Sarah. Fascinated by the stories surrounding Blackwood Manor, she had dedicated herself to uncovering the truth behind its enigmatic past. Armed with little more than her wits and a thirst for knowledge, Sarah set out to explore the abandoned mansion, determined to unravel its secrets once and for all. As she approached the imposing gates, a chill ran down her spine, but she pushed aside her fear and pressed on. Inside the mansion, Sarah found herself enveloped in darkness, the air heavy with the scent of decay. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling like veils of mourning, and the floorboards creaked beneath her feet as she ventured further into the depths of the house. With each step, Sarah felt the weight of history pressing down upon her, the echoes of the past whispering secrets long forgotten. She stumbled upon hidden chambers and forgotten corridors, each more foreboding than the last, until she reached the heart of the mansion, a grand hall that seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. It was there, amidst the faded grandeur of Blackwood Manor, that Sarah discovered a series of ancient journals hidden away in a dusty alcove. As she flipped through their pages, she uncovered a tale of tragedy and betrayal, a story of forbidden love and a family torn apart by greed and ambition. In the pages of the journals, Sarah learned of Isabella Blackwood, the daughter of the mansion's former owner, whose love for a lowly stable hand had led to her untimely demise. Betrayed by her own family and cast out into the night, Isabella had vowed to seek vengeance upon those who had wronged her, cursing Blackwood Manor with her dying breath. But as Sarah delved deeper into the mysteries of the past, she began to sense a presence lurking in the shadows, a presence that seemed to watch her every move with cold, unseeing eyes. Ignoring the warning signs, she pressed on, driven by a need to uncover the truth no matter the cost. As night fell and the darkness closed in around her, Sarah found herself drawn to the mansion's forgotten crypt, where the remains of the Blackwood family lay entombed for eternity. It was there, in the cold embrace of death, that she would confront the source of the mansion's cursed legacy once and for all. But as she entered the crypt, Sarah felt a chill run down her spine, and the air grew thick with a sense of dread. Shadows danced along the walls, their whispered voices echoing through the darkness, and Sarah knew that she was not alone. With trembling hands, she reached out to touch the cold stone of Isabella's tomb, and as she did, the very air seemed to crackle with an otherworldly energy. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath her feet, and the walls of the crypt began to shake as if in the grip of some unseen force. And then, with a deafening roar, the spirits of Blackwood Manor were unleashed upon the world, their anguished cries echoing through the night as they sought vengeance upon the living. In the chaos that followed, Sarah fought for her life against the spectral horde, her every breath a struggle against the encroaching darkness. But just as all seemed lost, she remembered the words of Isabella's journal, the key to breaking the curse that had plagued Blackwood Manor for so long. With a final act of defiance, Sarah uttered the words of the curse, banishing the spirits back to the depths of the mansion from whence they came. And as the darkness receded, she felt a sense of peace wash over her, knowing that she had freed the souls trapped within Blackwood Manor's haunted halls. As dawn broke over the horizon, Sarah emerged from the crypt, her heart heavy with the weight of the past but her spirit unbroken. And though Blackwood Manor would forever bear the scars of its haunted history, Sarah knew that its legacy would live on, a testament to the power of courage and determination in the face of unimaginable evil. And as she walked away from the mansion for the final time, Sarah vowed to never forget the lessons she had learned within its walls, to always cherish the light, even in the darkest of times, and to never underestimate the power of hope in the face of despair. For in the end, it was hope that had saved her from the darkness, and it was hope that would continue to guide her on her journey through life, no matter what terrors lay ahead. As Sarah emerged from the depths of Blackwood Manor, the weight of its haunted history still clung to her like a suffocating fog. She stumbled out into the cool morning air, her body trembling with exhaustion and adrenaline. The sun had risen, casting long shadows across the landscape and illuminating the twisted facade of the mansion behind her. Though the immediate danger had passed, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something lingered within the shadows, watching her with unseen eyes. She knew that the spirits of Blackwood Manor had been banished for now, but she feared that they would not rest easy for long. Determined to put an end to the curse once and for all, Sarah returned to the village at the base of the hill, seeking out the oldest and wisest residents in the hope of finding a solution. But the villagers recoiled at the mere mention of the mansion's name, their faces twisted with fear and superstition. Undeterred, Sarah persisted, piecing together fragments of local folklore and whispered legends until she uncovered a long-forgotten ritual said to have the power to cleanse Blackwood Manor of its cursed legacy. With the help of a few brave souls willing to stand by her side, she set out to perform the ritual before the darkness could reclaim its hold on the mansion. As night fell once more, Sarah and her companions returned to Blackwood Manor, armed with candles, talismans, and the unwavering resolve to face whatever horrors awaited them within its walls. They made their way through the overgrown gardens and crumbling courtyards, their footsteps echoing in the stillness of the night. Inside the mansion, they found themselves enveloped in darkness once more, the air heavy with the stench of decay. But they pressed on, guided by the flickering light of their torches and the strength of their conviction. They navigated the twisting corridors and hidden passages, encountering spectral apparitions and malevolent entities at every turn. But with each encounter, they grew stronger, their faith in their mission unwavering. Finally, they reached the heart of the mansion, a grand hall bathed in moonlight, where the ritual was to take place. With trembling hands, Sarah and her companions began to chant the ancient incantations, their voices rising above the cacophony of whispers that filled the air. As they spoke the final words of the ritual, a blinding light filled the room, banishing the darkness and purging the mansion of its cursed taint. Sarah felt a surge of power course through her veins, driving back the shadows and sealing the mansion's fate once and for all. When the light faded, Sarah and her companions found themselves standing in the ruins of Blackwood Manor, the air clear and the sky overhead ablaze with stars. The curse had been broken, and the spirits of the past had finally found peace. As they made their way out of the mansion's crumbling remains, Sarah knew that their journey was far from over. The scars of Blackwood Manor's haunted history would linger for generations to come, but she took solace in the knowledge that its darkest days were behind it. And as she looked out over the horizon, Sarah felt a sense of hope wash over her, knowing that the darkness had been vanquished and that the light would always prevail in the end. For in the end, it was not the curse of Blackwood Manor that defined its legacy, but the courage and determination of those who dared to confront it head-on. And though the mansion would forever be remembered as a place of terror and despair, it would also serve as a reminder of the power of hope and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable evil. As Sarah walked away from the ruins, she knew that Blackwood Manor's haunted history would live on in the annals of folklore and legend. But she also knew that its darkest secrets had been laid to rest at last, leaving behind only echoes in the shadows of a time long forgotten. And as the sun rose over the horizon, casting its golden light upon the world below, Sarah felt a sense of peace wash over her, knowing that she had played a part in bringing an end to the darkness that had once consumed Blackwood Manor. As Sarah walked away from the ruins of Blackwood Manor, a weight lifted from her shoulders, replaced by a sense of accomplishment and relief. The morning sun bathed the countryside in golden light, casting long shadows that seemed to dance with newfound freedom. But even as she left the cursed mansion behind, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that the darkness that had plagued Blackwood Manor for centuries still lingered in the air, waiting for an opportunity to return. She knew that the battle against evil was never truly over, and that vigilance was key to ensuring that the shadows did not reclaim their hold on the land. Returning to the village, Sarah was greeted as a hero, her bravery and determination celebrated by the grateful townsfolk. But amidst the cheers and applause, she saw the lingering fear in their eyes, a reminder that the memory of Blackwood Manor's haunted history would not fade so easily. Determined to ensure that the curse of Blackwood Manor remained broken, Sarah devoted herself to studying ancient texts and arcane rituals, seeking out knowledge that would protect the village from future threats. With each passing day, she grew stronger, her skills as a scholar and a protector honed to a razor's edge. But despite her best efforts, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that the darkness was still out there, biding its time and waiting for the opportune moment to strike. She knew that she would have to remain vigilant, always ready to confront the forces of evil wherever they may arise. Years passed, and the memory of Blackwood Manor faded into legend, spoken of in hushed tones by those who remembered the horrors that had once haunted the countryside. Sarah grew older, her hair streaked with silver, but her resolve remained as strong as ever, a beacon of hope in a world threatened by darkness. And then, one fateful night, a new threat emerged from the shadows, more powerful and malevolent than anything Sarah had ever faced before. Dark forces gathered on the outskirts of the village, their eyes gleaming with malice as they prepared to unleash their fury upon the unsuspecting townsfolk. With a heavy heart and a steely resolve, Sarah stepped forward to confront the darkness once more, knowing that the fate of the village and perhaps the world itself hung in the balance. Armed with ancient knowledge and unwavering courage, she faced her greatest challenge yet, ready to do whatever it took to protect those she held dear. In the final battle against the forces of evil, Sarah fought with all her might, her every move guided by the wisdom of ages past and the strength of her indomitable spirit. As the darkness closed in around her, she stood firm, a beacon of light in a world consumed by shadow. And in the end, it was Sarah's bravery and determination that saved the village from certain destruction, her sacrifice ensuring that the darkness would never again threaten to engulf the land. As the sun rose on a new day, the people rejoiced, their hearts filled with gratitude for the hero who had saved them from the brink of oblivion. But even as they celebrated their victory, they knew that the battle against evil was far from over, and that they would always have to remain vigilant against the forces that sought to drag them back into the depths of darkness. And though Sarah had passed into legend, her legacy lived on in the hearts of those she had sworn to protect, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope would always prevail.